Well, it was much needed. I mean, the kids have, it's been such a struggle the past few years for them to have that experience and to come into a game where you've already got a 17 game losing streak at home where, they were talking, Nate mentioned before the game about, you know, our seniors hadn't ever won on the field since the 8th grade, So, I guess it's baby steps, but we'll take all of them because they're huge to us right now. I mean, we want to get it to where it's expected, where it's expected by the community. And, right now it's been so long, it's just, the monkey's off the back. And, hopefully we can repeat at least 2 out of the next 3 times where, we can make the playoffs.
How does the playoff, do you have to, if you win 2 out of 3, do you have a pretty good shot of getting in?
I mean, according to our calculations, and, a lot of it's going to, Valiant would have to beat, I think, Eufaula and somebody else to get their games up there where they would have 3 because they've already lost to Hartshorn and Wilburton. So, if we can beat Hartshorn and Wilburton, then we're in. Mm-hmm. Which are doable.
Yes.
But we've got to play better than what we've done. I mean, you go back and look on film. Yeah, it's great. We got a big win, but, you remember those film Mondays where it's like, God, how do we even win? Because Coach is just pointing out everything that's going wrong. We still haven't we've got a G play, which is off tackle, which when everything goes, when you block it right, it's wide open. We haven't blocked it right yet. And a lot of it's been because of injuries and, next man up stepping in, and he makes the same mistake as the guy that got hurt, or the guy got hurt two players before him. That's kind of where we're at in the season with the injuries and all.
Well, how did this win compare to last year when y'all beat Atoka? Did it feel better, about the same, or?
I managed to stay dry this time, so that was better for me.
But it's also your first win of the season, too.
Right,
so
first win of the season, and finally got a win at home. I mean, it's been the junior high's been getting the wins at home. Junior high has, they pretty well stayed at 500, and they'll play again Monday night. But it's going to be the 9th graders get to play with them this time, so we're excited about that. Happy for the 9th graders.
You also had a couple players come back. Ross McGee and Mario were there, and Ross scored the first play of the game.
Yes, it does. You get that senior leadership back, and Ross is the fastest person on the field a lot of times when he's there, and he was the fastest person on the field Friday night, and it showed. Mm-hmm. But he lost. I think he had about a 50-yard run that got called back on a hold by one of his classmates, but we're not going to throw Drew under the bus on that.
And Ryan continues to progress too. He had 150 yards and 3 touchdowns.
I tell you, he runs hard, and if he ever gets to where he uses his eyes a little bit better, I mean, he's making good cuts, but he's missed some other runs by just that much, by just not having his head up seeing the hole. So it's, for someone that's not real experienced, he's doing pretty good. Mm-hmm. I mean,
and your first team defense, they did not give up a point, and they forced 6 turnovers.
They looked really good. They did. We're still tackling high. That's why we keep getting those face masks. And it's, we've been on Ryan because Ryan he tackles high a lot, but he's about 6'1", 6'2", and he comes in and he'll get wrapped up in the face mask and get some calls on it. But this time, it wasn't Ryan. It was Everett. Everett was coming in high, and Everett's not very tall, so he really doesn't. I can't give him the excuse of being tall, but Everett. What Everett made up for in penalties was, boy, he brings it. When he hits you, you've been hit, and he lit up some backs.
But he wasn't the only one. There were several kids flying
Yes,
around.
there were. Linebackers we've been on, we were really stressed last week about, it looked like we were playing on roller skates. Our first steps were backwards instead. We haven't got them in the process of going forwards, and that's we've got to get them back to that point where they take those 2 steps forward and then adjust the pass, and that way they're there to make the plays.
How does Hugo look? I know they've got a really good quarterback, and
They look fast. I mean, they've got a really good quarterback, and they've got about 3 other guys that are just about as fast, and they're heavy seniors. Their backfield is just about all seniors, and so if this is the year Hugo's going to do it, this is going to have to be it. I mean, it would take a perfect game on our part to even make it competitive. I mean, to be real competitive in it, because and we're going to have to do better than what we did Friday night. I mean, the 6 turnovers and pushing on short end of the field. I mean, you want to see what your kids can do with a longer drive and know that they can sustain a long drive and just not the quick punches. I mean, that's kind of what Atoka's been running into, as they were scoring those quick hits, and you notice what happened last Friday night.
right.
They weren't able to do the quick hits, and they got shut down. They couldn't do the sustained drive, and as a coach, you always want to see if your kids can go out there and sustain a 10 to 15 play drive where with no penalties, or be able to keep it marching. And we've done it a few times this year, but we've also come back and shot ourselves in the foot and got the penalties, or a silly turnover that shouldn't have happened. And but they're probably one of the bigger lines we're going to face this year, Hugo. I mean, they're a solid team, and
Well, they had to be to compete with Hugh Falls the way
Yes.
they did.
yes, and like I said, we'd have to play above what we're doing right now, and of course that's the goal going into this week of practice, is to keep getting better. We seem to be just chipping away. We're staying consistent on getting better, but we're still, we still block plays wrong, and it's just very frustrating as a coach, because you're sitting there going, God, that would have been about a 15, 20-yard pop right there if that one guy. And a lot of times it's one guy, when he blocks wrong, he cuts off somebody else from making their block. So we're gonna keep struggling, striving to get there.
Mm-hmm. And this is your final road game unless you make the
Yeah.
playoffs. So
Yeah, I'm heartbroken about it. Of course, it is to Hugo.
yeah,
That's a tote.
it's a long trip. So, well, Coach, thank you very much.
Hey, you're welcome.